Yo guys, what's good? I'm Lime. I'm gonna go over this video on how to grow your OF account from 5K to 10K a month. And it's gonna be super easy, super simple. I hope this tutorial helps you guys out. But let's get started, okay? So I made this quick guide. It's already been recorded a while ago, but kind of like explains over mostly the content side of things. It's not gonna go over the chatting part, but it's slightly gonna go over the chatting part. But let's get into it. So these are the things that you don't really want to do before you start doing your shit, right? And I would not recommend you guys like try to optimize anything first because your entire goal is to mass produce content and then just start fucking posting. But the first mistake is splitting up platforms. If you're on OF, and you're doing the best OF, I think you should try your best to do OF because you're not really sure if OF is the reason why your thing is bad, your thing is good or not, and you don't want to try like anything like FanView. You don't want to try what's the other chat again? Like the OF competitors, because you're not sure if that's your only issue. It might be because of your funnel. It might be because of your content. It might be because of how you present yourself on OF. But that's kind of what I'm trying to say. Next thing, like I want to tell you to do is don't do paid traffic. Paid traffic is not honestly worth it because if you're under 5K a month, your traffic is your issue. Organic content is the issue. I've never had any of my creators ever do paid traffic because that's not really something I really like. I'm really struggling with. So just try to increase like your production thing. Try to increase your content. Try to make better content. Next thing is buy followers. It's gonna fucking kill your account. You're gonna get banned. TLDR, end of story. I'm not gonna go too deep into it, but I think you guys understand. Next thing is raise sub prices. The last thing you want to do is make the barrier to entry harder than it already is, because if anything, your content is probably bad. If anything, your funnel is bad. If anything, your fucking landing page on OF is bad as well. So you don't want to raise your sub prices. Next thing is to do things you hate because you're not going to be able to sustain the 10K a month that you eventually make doing the things you hate. And the last thing is perfect chatting. You're probably too early in the game to do chatting. Maybe get your revenue up and then you can start chatting. That's just a suggestion. I've seen so much people do fucking 20K a month, like literally just making AI content and them doing the chatting themselves. That's the craziest thing. 20K a month doing all of that. So just don't perfect chatting. Hire a chatting agency if anything. But let's just get into the organic content as everything, and I really, really do mean it. So the first thing I want you to do is don't overdo it. Max 5 verticals, right? If 5 verticals is too much, then try 3 verticals. But don't try anything above or below. Don't try anything below 3 verticals because you kind of want to mix and match and see what works. There's a 70-30, 70-10-20 rule where 70% of your reels are things that already does work, 20% is things that kind of do work, and 10% is you experimenting. And anything that's bad, you just drop the fucking reel. Right? Next thing is that you gotta stay focused and dialing in your verticals to hit like multi-weeks and seeing if those verticals actually work. Because for a vertical to actually work, you have to like give it a week or 2 weeks to actually start working. But yeah, and then you just repeat as needed. You find the things that work for you, and then if that does work, then you just continue on with it. If it doesn't work, then you just drop it and just move on. So let's try to choose a vertical before you join in. Like these are some examples of verticals, but the thing that really does matter is the type of person you are and the niche you're in, right? If you're more of a golf girl, I'll suggest narrowing that down because being a golf girl means that you're competing with a bunch of other golf girls. You want to make it where you're the market of one. This could be golf girl where you play games a lot, which is already a lot of golf girls. Golf girls where like you're an ex-Mormon, that's probably someone already is that. But you can be like a pink golf girl who is a Mormon. I don't think anyone's a pink golf girl who is a Mormon and who is submissive instead of being a mommy dommy, and instead of like being also on top of being submissive, you're relatable where you're like, oh, I'm just a real girl, like, you know what I mean? I just happen to like being golf stuff, so you're not really too heavy in the golf thing. And then based off that, you can choose your vertical. Like you're an ex-Mormon, a lot of ex-Mormon guys would relate to you making jokes about like being an ex-Mormon, so you can be ex-Mormon fucking golf girl in pink making comedy skits about things that were ridiculous as a Mormon. You can make cooking content, cooking Mormon food, right? You make POV, is how Mormon would react to me, or you just follow some trends. That's kind of what I mean by vertical and narrowing things down in the very simplest sense. So you want to ask yourself, right? What I just said before. What do you already do every day? What can you film without effort, and what won't burn you out? The most important thing is that you don't get burnt out, because if you do get burnt out, then you're not gonna be making 10K a month. If you're doing the things you hate, that's like a fucking job, bro. Like you don't want to make this a job. You want to make it something you enjoy, and that because the things that you enjoy will make you the most money in the long term. Because you're gonna be able to commit your energy, and you're gonna be able to commit your creativity into making that piece of content that you really do enjoy. And at a very bare minimum, you want to post 3 to 5 times a day, one high quality post a day. But optionally, like what I really do recommend is that I fucking post 10 times a day, right? There's trial reels, there's AI versions of yourself, there's like clippers. You get everything on and just combine it in, right? And then that's how I grow my creators super fast, instead of having them post on one single main account and try their best to reiterate when they can just be making different pieces of content. We give it to our clippers. We make AI content of the things they don't want to do. We give that to our clippers. We give it to them to post on trial reels or to post on the main page, and then it works out like that. It's a win-win situation. And then they find out what does work, because we have so many tests running at the exact same time. And then we just have them stick on the things that they do want to do, and then they do enjoy. And if they don't enjoy something that works, then we can just have AI like replicate that shit on an alt account or on a clipper account, and then we just funnel everything down to the main account. So just batch create to avoid burnout. Simple as that. This is a 6-week process that we kind of do follow, but at the same time we don't. But if you're really starting out and you're kind of struggling, I would suggest you follow this 6-week routine, right? First week, you review their creator blueprints and your content verticals that you like to do. You make it up yourself as Claude, and then you want to just like batch create all of those 21 videos, 21 ideas in one thing, and you post it throughout the week. And that's the very bare minimum. What I recommend, you make 50 videos and you post that on the first week, right? If it doesn't work, move on. What's next to next week? You see what worked. Of the 3 verticals, 5 verticals you posted, maybe 2 of those like verticals worked out really well. If not, if like 3 of those videos worked out really well, and then you try to refine those 3 verticals, right? 3 videos, and then you understand what vertical they're in. And then if you do like them or not, you keep posting them, and you just like make them better and better. And I would say make like 30 of your videos that week on those 3 videos, and then look at the other verticals, right? Anything else you haven't tried yet? Then if you just try them and see if they work, you post them throughout the week, and you rinse and repeat the process over and over and over again until you get to like week 5, where every week you identify, like what I said, you eliminate the things that don't work. And then week 6, then you just fucking repeat and repeat and repeat until you find something that does work, right? And week 6 is the only thing when, if nothing else works, then you just try again. It's super simple. Anyone can follow this process. Just like keep your mind on it and just write Google Doc and just try to examine yourself. Here is a really big tip on how to reiterate content. The main thing I want to tell you is that you don't want to copy content that's word for word, right? This is how you take inspiration. What I usually do, what my friends usually do, what like my partners usually do, is that we kind of like scroll Instagram as a way to see, why did this pop off? Even if it's the dumbest fucking reason why it popped off, right? It could be because the introduction was super surprising, or the girl was super hot, which is like for OF girls. Or we can see, her dress was like really unique. The sound was unique. It looked familiar to people. It was relatable to that niche, to the audience. And then we just like learn onto that, right? I can't really open this right now because the account I'm on this fucking MacBook is banned. But Ari Kitsua, basically she said, "Oh guys, am I a bop?" to her friends, and her friends like, and that's kind of her take on a bop trend, right? Versus Camilla, where she does like a song thing, jig to the bop thing, and she's like bop 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 bop, and then it's a bop or not. So that's kind of what Camilla does versus Ari Kitsua. Another thing I would recommend is reuse stimuli from the past. I have had AI accounts where I literally just did the fucking Bella Porsche, like the really popular one, which is super zoomed into her face, And that's all of their posts. Exact same posts, different outfits for this one AI account, and it's making like 30K a month. And I'm just posting like 3 videos a day on it. Super, super simple. Reuse things that were good before because people are not used to it anymore. And they would be stimulated by it because they're like, oh, I remember that. It's like a flashback. And also, this is kind of new to me right now since I haven't been seeing stuff like this. Scientifically proven because there's a reason why it was popular in the first place. And people forgot about it. Now, why can't you bring it up again? That's kind of what I mean. Next thing is steal like an artist. Mac Daniel does what do you do for a living? Jack Doherty did the talking to Mike. I'll just show you guys this one since I don't think not everyone knows.
Okay, what do you want?
I got something. I got something big.
Okay.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. And Mr. Beast is like, for $100, would you do X? $100 to skydive. It is not fucking loading for me, but it's cool. All right. So when you Frankenstein all of these together, you get for $100. What do you do? Like, tell me what you do for a living without talking. This is what steal like an artist means. You kind of don't replicate what they do. You can see how this is done with Camilla and it's how done with Ari Kitsuya. And so it ends up like this. It loads, bro. I don't know why my Wi-Fi is so shit right now. Alright, it's not gonna load. But basically, right, so Camilla runs up to this girl who does OF, and Camilla is like, $400, what do you do for a living without talking? And the girl just does some stuff, like some motions without talking, and she just guesses, like how Jack Doherty does, though talking to Mike. And then, and then just find out at the very end. So, because it's like the pacing, oh, bro, I haven't fucking copied this over, but you just notice how people do their pacing. All these videos are all super energetic, right? Pacing is all super fast, and the filming style is really cinematic, or it's kind of filmed from one angle. Next thing I want to do is, next thing I want to talk to you guys about is what it means to make conversion reels. Conversion reels is basically things that convert, right? Yes, there's things that get you views, but the things that get you views don't necessarily convert versus the things that do convert, which is like they're on their page and you try to nurture them and try to make them understand you and make them like have a parasocial relationship with you where they like, oh, they know exactly how you are. You're the sweetest girl in the world, and it comes up in the head as you are the sweetest girl in the world. And that's how you nurture them, and that's what it counts as a conversion reel. This happens when a viewer relates with a girl. You're not obviously an OF girl unless like it kind of does work like that, where they just come in to jerk and just leave. But you kind of don't want that because you want to drain as much money as you can out of a guy. Next thing is that, are they enticed by you? Are you kind of explicit or not? Better, like in my experience, it's better not be explicit, but just to like kind of show things subtly. Like you kind of have a sneak peek at the undies, or like you wear a really oversized shirt. Next thing is that is your content entertaining or not? Because people have more time watching your content and relate to you more if they find you entertaining. There's a thing where it's like you watch 7 hours of someone, and the more you watch after 7 hours, the more convincing that person is to you. And the next thing is the freaky feeling. What the fuck? I don't know what I said for that, but yeah, you guys can figure it out, bro. I wrote this script super long ago. Next thing I want to talk to you guys about is simplifying your tunnel. Be sure to make your things as low barrier to entry as possible, right? By this, I mean just like have your reels, like have your funnel the moment they see your thing, the moment they click on your link me, just to see the OF logo, instead of like 5 different Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Threads, Twitter, anything. And that all they see and all they have to do is press on the OF to go to the OF page, and they see how much posts you have on the OF, they see your bio on your OF, they see, oh, sub to me now for $3, last 5 people, and you guys get a free booty picture. That's how you mean by simplifying your tunnel, making things as easy for them as possible. And here's an example of one of the girls. You see how you press on this? You just see the girl and you see like her here. This is the first thing you see. And it's OF, right? You open OF to link me. You see her OF. You see her like picture here. And you're, oh, she's really hot, and you sub to her. This girl is kind of like, she's inactive so far, but it's a really old example. but we used to always run a link on her as well. All right, here is pricing. Um, price your OF from $11 to $15, and I put on infinite promotion for like $3 or $4 as low as you can go for new fans or for old fans as well. And it could be, oh, make it short and simple, make it limited time, make it like based off scarcity, have like a sale going on, like add like a freebie. If you read Alex Hormozy like the offers book Majig, then you would just understand, okay, what makes people cross the pain barrier to sub to my OF, right? It's first scarcity, time running out, and last thing is what they get on top of it. So you just try to enhance the offer as much as you can. Description, don't overcomplicate it. Don't make it look like an agency is running it. Just make it short and sweet and for them to go in and find out for themselves. Just made an account, come talk to me, get my confidence up. For all you haters, I go to school and I have parents, and yes, I cosplay a little bit. So it's like, okay, this description has some personality, right? Oh, she cosplays. What does she cosplay as? And then they kind of follow in and sub in. It's for them to find out for themselves and to make it look like, oh, the girl actually wrote this shit instead of having an agency write an entire 5-page paragraph on it. Another thing is wall post. I used to say that make wall posts once a day so you have as much posts as you can in your fan view, like OnlyFans. But I honestly kind of switched up on that recently, where I think that having a little bit of wall posts is okay because you want to make the guy think that you're new to OF and everything, right? But on the other hand, if you have a bunch of wall posts, it looks like they're having a deal for paying $3 to see 5 videos, like 100 different pictures, and that makes them more likely to subscribe. If you're on either end of the spectrum, just assess what you're doing with your OF and assess what you're doing with like your content, and you can move from there. Thumbnail, make sure you look good, girl. You got this, girl. For the long thumbnail, just make it sexy and just make it a tease or just make yourself look kind of shy. All right, last thing I want to talk about is chatting. To be honest with you, I don't know much about chatting. I kind of just outsource it. But from what I learned when I started chatting is that I don't want to overcomplicate things, right? Because at the very beginning, I was chatting about myself for like my clients, and it was like low-key fucking retarded. So just send PPVs, sell your bundles as bundles. Don't spend too much time in chats, but make sure that the fan feels like they're cared for and like you actually dare to talk to them. But don't worry about optimization. Don't try to drain every single last dollar out of someone because that's gonna take super, super long. And you don't have the time for that if you're making content, you're content reviewing, if you're editing your videos, if you're posting stories all day, like there's not enough time in the world for that. So just don't optimize on chatting at all. What I recommend you do is just sell random bullshit and then optimize afterwards. And by optimizing, I mean hiring your own agency or getting a team of chatters. It will save you a lot of time, even if you're doing low months, because it saves you the mentality of having to chat. Like it saves your mental, and you can just focus fully time on content, right? Instead of chatting to like 5 people for like 5 hours, what if you just made content and just got 100 extra subs for spending that 5 extra hours of content? Just a suggestion. But yeah, guys, that's kind of the video. Let me know if you guys have any questions. Just ask me down below. Check out Milky Consulting if you want to work with me, or if you want to learn how to make AI content and how to grow your account specifically. I'll help you out. I have a whole community. And yeah, guys, that's basically it, guys. Have a great day. Peace.